Ebony glared at the school bus. She let the carriage go. It was just going to take her home, a place where she didn't want to be. She sat down on the lawn and waited. She didn't feel like going anywhere. She waited. After hours, dark bloomed, and Ebony continued to sit on the lawn. Ebony looked up as the car hit the curb. She saw the color of the vehicle. It was a family car. Ebony narrowed her eyes. The driver pulled down the window and glared at her. It was her father, Joe. He shook his head as Ebony wryly grinned. He hooked his finger and beckoned her forward. She pushed her feet to stand and then walked. Ebony sat in the car as Joe stared at the traffic. He seemed in control. She glared at Joe as he grit his teeth. She wanted to smile. Something about his mood made her want to laugh. Joe flicked his eyes her way and narrowed them. He looked sharp. That was how Ebony knew he was a little mad, but not too much. When he was really mad, he was like a steaming kettle. It showed. "So you want a burger and fries?" he asked as he glared at the road once more. "Okay," told Ebony as she smiled. Joe nodded and turned the car. He moved down the street and ordered a meal. He paid for it and gave the meal to Ebony. Ebony began to eat. It was a delicious burger that had deep-fried batter and fresh tomato and lettuce. It was her kind of treat. It made her feel warm. "You know, those burgers are made of dead animals," muttered Joe as he smiled a little. "I know, I hear them with the morning traffic," told Ebony before she bit again. "The creatures just stand around staring as though they are dumb," muttered Joe, as though he was unable to hear. "Some of them know that something is going on," he added. "It's not until they get into the factory that they find out. They just have their heads cut off, their throats torn, bellies gutted. They're mutilated," he shrugged. "That is what we're supposed to do with them?" he asked before he glared at Ebony, who had the last of her burger shoved up to her face. Ebony could see Joe quiver a little. Slowly she ate the last portion of the hamburger. She chewed until she swallowed. She tasted deliciousness and felt warmth. It was how it was supposed to be. Joe narrowed his eyes and then he chuckled inside of his throat. He looked ahead and continued to drive. Ebony sat as she glared at Joe. His lips quivered. He was off his rocket. She drank her soda in order to wash down the warm sensation inside of her belly. Her belly had just begun to grow wobbles.